the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Hello and welcome to the Freedom of Thought podcast. I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Freedom of Thought is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. Again, I'm mobile, so this time I'm mobile. It's been a little while since I actually did a mobile episode, just the way things are at the moment. So sometimes I got to record outside or in the, outside of the quote-unquote studio or apartment or whatever you want to call it. Well, it is an apartment, but like recording studio, you can call it. But so this is an announcement. I would say it's pretty significant, of course, for Freedom of Thought. Of course, the show is not going away at all. It is just kind of pre-branding. It is rebranding back to kind of where it was before. So remember how before it was more of like a, you could say political news and, information, stuff. Yeah, I mean, you'll also notice maybe some of the data's changed on some of the, what do you call it? The Instagram and such, like information as to what the show talks about. So a lot of that Nephilim, Genesis 6, type of stuff is actually going to a brand new show that I did release a pilot episode last night called Mysterious Adventures. So you'll also notice, the logo that was kind of more of that, enchanted forest look, that's going to Mysterious Adventures. And then this show is going back to kind of the patriotic, George Washington revolutionary type of look and all that. Before it was actually just an American flag with the words Freedom of Thought. So came up with a brand new logo. Of course, again, that's a background that I did not create the background, just added the the font saying Freedom of Thought in red. So hopefully you like it. Let me know what you think. Maybe I can do better. It might be a temporary logo. It might end up sticking for many, many years. We'll see. Knowing this show, I've changed the logo several times, starting off with the flag that did last for a number of years, at least from the beginning up until, this year. So it was about 4 years, pretty much 4 years and change that logo lasted. So the brand new show, Mysterious Adventures. So yes, again, biblical history, Nephilim giants. We could be talking about like Bigfoot, Wolfman, anything like that kind of stuff. And obviously, again, can get biblical as well, of course, like Genesis, Revelation, Isaiah, Daniel, all different types of conversations that lead to the history of our Earth being far different than what we've been told from a lot of historians, and even in a lot of the churches, unfortunately, where they just don't talk about it. They don't talk about a lot of that Genesis 6 stuff. And it's like fascinating to think about how, there were actually giants here. Like they weren't just in like Canaan and such, and they were all killed off or whatever. And then there were just a few remnants left. And then David maybe killed the last one, Goliath. No, they were still around for a while. And they were in Arizona. They were in South Dakota. They were in Minnesota. So fascinating stuff. So all of that kind of conversation, that part of Freedom of Thought is going to a brand new show. So it's kind of like something I did many, many, many years ago with Paladino Live when I talked about all the local Minnesota sports, the Twins, the Vikings, the Wild, and the Timberwolves, where I split it up into 3 shows: Purple Mafia, Vikings; Brave the Wild, Timberwolves, Explosion, the Timberwolves. And then the Twins part got dissolved, unfortunately, but because I can only keep up with so much. And then Palladino Live itself got dissolved. And eventually it just kind of became the name of the you could call it the quote-unquote network of shows, which is everything. Palladino Live Productions. So that's kind of what this is. So yeah, we're going back to, kind of like you could call it a conservative Christian-based freedom of thought, which is kind of what it was anyway, but without that extra Lord of the Rings type of stuff, like biblical Lord of the Rings type of stuff that's going to the brand new show. The other part of this announcement could be that's probably the last show I'm going to create, because that's too many now. It's basically too many, but it is what it is. I was already talking about those topics anyway on this show. So like how I split up the very last show I did, Freedom of Thought, the most recent one, episode 110, was basically like an example of the 2 different shows. Like the first half of the show, I talked about mounds and how the parks might be parks for a reason, because it could be some kind of burial ground type of thing that nobody talks about. And it wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, again, you want to keep certain pretty areas the way they are, but at the same time, there's always mound-like looking hills in parks. It seems to happen all the time, especially if it's close to a lake or a creek or something. It just reeks of, like, I don't know if it's Native American burial grounds or giants further back. So I had an interesting conversation going on about that. And then I split up the show into 2 segments. The second segment was about Donald Trump, 47th President Donald J. Trump's executive orders, and kind of went over those, and very happy about that. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, do check it out, Freedom of Thought. And of course, the pilot episode 0 is what I'm calling it. Episode 0, because it's not like a real episode. It's a pilot episode where I talk about just the vision of Mysterious Adventures. So that's kind of, I was thinking about doing this for probably about the last 8 months or so. It's been a while. I just kept thinking, do I really want to create another show? Do I have energy for that? Well, we'll see. Obviously, the releases are going to be sporadic, this and that. This show, I'm going to try to keep weekly-ish if I can. We'll see. Weekly-ish, or either once a week or once every 2 weeks. And the Mysterious Adventures, we'll see. I'd like to make some good productions there, get some guests on and all that. And I wouldn't mind getting guests on this show. So stuff like JFK, stuff like, say, like the JFK, all the mysteries behind that, O.J. Simpson, I'm just kind of throwing out examples. 9/11, of course, all of that is staying here on Freedom of Thought, because that's kind of, American history. All that stuff about the Pilgrims and all that, and the Lost Colony, that's going to also stay on this show. So yeah, that stuff is sticking around, because that's pretty much a Freedom of Thought type of a topic. If it gets super interesting type of stuff, some of it might go into Mysterious Adventures. I might even put segments of this show, or bits and pieces of this show on there sometimes, if it's related, or bits and pieces of that show on this one. Sometimes people take like a segment, half a segment, or a portion of a segment, and put it on their other show. Or like, say, how Bob Bierman takes parts of his sermon sometimes and puts it on his Truth to Ponder podcast, or show, basically. It's a podcast, and it's on shortwave radio. It'd be kind of stuff like that. I may do that from time to time, where I take snippets and such. Like, I think the Aliens episode here is probably going to be like it's probably going to be put on Mysterious Adventures as well at some point. Like, maybe to kind of like, I'll introduce it and everything, and then boom, here it is on Mysterious Adventures. Because that's more of a Mysterious Adventures type of episode. I may do stuff like that as well. But yeah, most of that conversation is going to be over on the other show. Now, of course, the drones and weird stuff going on, that could go on either show. So again, there's that. All that weird drone stuff that was going on, that could go on either show. Like it's a UFO, no matter how you look at it. It's unidentified. But it's also probably more governmental and news related, like this type of show. So yeah, that's kind of the conversation here. Freedom of thought. You got that Revolutionary War look now instead of just a flag. Hope you like it. Let me know what you think about what's going on. And don't forget to check out Mysterious Adventures. Highly recommended. It is now on Apple Podcasts. It's already there. It was like a minor miracle that show already is appearing on Apple Podcasts. Usually it takes a while for them to process it. in the even this show took a while to get going, and Video Game Flashback, it seemed like it took forever, but then bam, there it was all of a sudden. But this one, it went up in less than an hour, or excuse me, Mysterious Adventures went up in less than an hour, so it's already on Apple Podcasts. Of course, Spotify is where everything starts here with all my shows, because it's Spotify for podcasters. That's the home base, basically, for everything except Brave the Wild, which is on Believe, on the Hockey Podcast Network. But eventually, someday, if they either, decide not to do it anymore, or just whatever, for whatever reason, I want to just kind of, either I want to leave or they want me to leave, then that, of course, Brave the Wild eventually will come to Spotify for podcasters as well. But I'm not sure you're here to hear about that. Mysterious Adventures is on Apple Podcast. It's on Spotify. I believe it's on iHeartRadio. I'm going to check here in a second. I thought I was going to check before I did the show, but of course I didn't. Audible, Amazon Music, Player FM. What was the other one? I'm going to try to get it on a few more, like, my mind is blanking, but I'm going to try to get on a few more that are definitely out there, very common. Like the apps are on this phone, a lot of them, like Pocket Cast, that's one of them. YouTube Music, whatever that's called, that's basically YouTube and YouTube Music. What are the others here? Apologize. I think there's one that's like called Cast something. There was Pocket Casts. Player FM, yep, it's there. Pocket Cast, it's already up there, if you can believe it. Podbean, I'm not sure. That one's kind of different. Player FM was more of an automatic thing. It's kind of like Google Podcasts. It's actually really nice. I like that app for certain shows. Where is everything? Don't you just love that? Because I have too much junk here. So iHeartRadio, again, I'm going to check that maybe right now, just in case. It should be up by now. I mean, it was put up a long time ago, so or I put it up last night. It shouldn't take that long anymore. Mysterious Adventures. Be nice if it's up, but I don't know yet. I'm not seeing it at the moment, which is kind of annoying. It should be up by now. No, it's still not. I don't know, from what I can tell. Maybe it will be shortly, but if you're an iHeart fan, keep checking, I guess. It should pop up soon. I'll probably announce it or something. But yes, Audible, the others. What was that other one that starts with a C that not everybody uses, but a lot of people use? Castbox. Yep, I got to get it on there still. And yep, Odyssey, I think it's more of an automatic one. Not sure it's there yet. That one's a little bit slower, but it's a pretty good app. It's similar to Audible, like really similar to Audible. It might be on there by now. Apologize if I'm kind of belaboring things. It's not showing. Maybe it is. Nope, it's not on Audible or Odyssey yet. Probably have to keep releasing episodes for something to happen there. And Odyssey is usually behind. It takes a while, but once it's up, it's up. It's also like automatic, like I was saying. So I think you get the gist. Again, so you're going to hear more and more about governmental type stuff on this one, and more of the mysterious cryptoid type of stuff on Mysterious Adventures. You get the general gist of what I'm trying to say. And I want to thank all of you so much for this. Oh, also, I added the Give, Send, Go. So those of you, that have been incredibly kind to me and have given, and this brand new way of giving now is Give, Send, Go. That one also, so the same link will be on Mysterious Adventures. So look at it this way. Now, don't feel obligated to have to give to both, because here's the thing. To have to get okay, I gave to this one, now I got to give to this one. Here's the thing. It's the same account. So when you're giving to one, you're giving to both of them already. So if you gave $1 to one, you've given $1 to both. So look at it that way. It's a combined thing. So it's, it counts as it's supporting both of the shows, even if you give as low as 99 cents on a one-time donation. So that's the whole thing. So I already changed it where it says Freedom of Thought and Mysterious Adventures. So yeah, and that'll be the end of the donation type of stuff that I'm going to be asking for, and I'm just proposing it. It's completely 1,000% optional, and that's it. No, you have no obligation to do a doggone thing. And those of you that have, God bless you and thank you so much. Thank you so much. With that said, thank you again. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.